Good Boys is the most recent teen comedy to come out recently. I say teen in quotes because very clearly they're not teens, they are tweens. It tells the story of a group of friends as they prepare to go to their first kissing party and all the hijinks that ensue upon it, and all like the childhood like innocence that's still about them, but they're still trying to act older, grow up, and other things like that. And this is well, I guess the best way to describe it is it's almost basically super bad, but betweens instead of teenagers. And I found it to be quite enjoyable. Obviously, the first thing is the cast for this movie was fantastic. The three kids, they were just great. I've loved Jacob Tremblay and everything that he's been in. And these other two kids, they were fantastic as well. The comedic beats between all of them were great. I really thought that they were actually friends. I thought that the dialogue between all of them was fantastic. And just how they went about every kind of adult situation involving any kind of drugs or sex or things like that. Just how they play off as we get what you mean. It's like, I've had sex before, but I've never kissed a woman before, and that kind of stuff. Hilarious. I thought that was great. It perfectly encapsulated what it was like to be a kid at that age trying to act older and cooler and stuff like that. But we were all at that age. We had no idea what we were talking about, at all. Admit it, you didn't know what you were talking about when you were 12 years old, but you acted like you did, so you were cooler because of it. Except me, never talked like that. I didn't have a sense of humor. My childhood was quite sad. Obviously, something that is going to be quite apparent is this is a very R-rated film, just because of the language, the stuff that they encounter, and everything like that. Very R-rated. I could definitely see there's going to be a lot of parents that are going to be like, oh, how dare you put the small children in this kind of role, and had to talk like that and do things like that. I'm like, okay, first off, kids talk like that. They do. I don't know why it's so hard for people to accept that, or did they block it from their memories when they were younger? Because that's how middle schoolers talk. My little brother, he's in middle school. He was the age of the kids in this film, and he even tells me that people do talk like that. So I don't know why people are getting so up in heat about it. I don't get it. So if you're someone that doesn't want to see children talk like that or do the things that they do in this movie, then you're not gonna find it funny. You're not gonna enjoy it. So then just don't bother go seeing it. But if you want to see the kids get involved in stuff like this.
What is it? I have no idea.
That's a tampon. Girls shove it up their buttholes to stop babies from coming out. An 8th grader told me that.
Then you're gonna find it funny and enjoyable. And yeah, that's the best thing I can really say about it, is it's quite funny and really enjoyable. And it really just comes down to the way that the humor is about the film. And it really is just about the innocence of childhood and trying to understand adult things and acting like you do, but you obviously don't. Something that was also interesting about it was that this film had a lot of heart when it came to its story and its characters. Really about their friendship and how growing up they're gonna eventually drift apart, but they don't really want to. They still want to stay friends, do what they've always done, but very clearly each character has something different that they all want to be able to do, but they're still gung-ho on staying together, but obviously they can. I think that was probably the most endearing thing about this movie, was how it really handled its story, because it easily could have just gone for the straight comedic route of something like Superbad, but it didn't. It had those moments. They were smaller moments, but those smaller moments of intimate friendship, and just really just talking about their life and stuff like that. I'm not saying it goes into dramatic territory, because it doesn't, but when it goes to those moments, it is quite nice, and it is pretty heartwarming. If there is any problems with the film, I do probably have to say that there is a little bit of when it comes to the profanity and stuff, it does rely just a tiny bit too much on it. Just in certain parts just feels a bit unnecessary, but pretty much just that, and just a little bit. It doesn't go really all the way with some of its story elements, but other than that, I found Good Boys to be quite enjoyable, a very fun time, very funny film, one of the best comedies of the summer. Doesn't beat Booksmart. I don't really think anything's going to beat Booksmart for a long time, and I just found it to be really fun and really enjoyable. I know this review is kind of all over the place, but I mean, how else do you review a movie that's basically Superbad but with tweens? I don't know. I'm trying my best. I'm going to give Good Boys an 8 out of 10. Again, this film was very fun, very enjoyable. I loved the cast. They were all fantastic. I loved the humor. I loved the way that everything was delivered. I just basically loved everything about it. But if you're someone that doesn't like this kind of humor and doesn't want to see 12-year-olds doing this kind of humor, you're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to find it funny, but just keep it to yourself about that. I don't need to hear it. And yeah, but I would say go see Good Boys. It's a really fun time, and it's a very funny film. All right, so that was my review of Good Boys. If you've seen the film, let me know what you thought of it down below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you all next time. All right, peace.